Yeah, I wanted to, a post the other day I saw on the Facebook page just kind of made me think about something. It's about Terry frisks, and it was a concerning comment made by an officer on there. I know you've covered this in podcasts in the past. The lawful basis for a frisk is first you have to have a lawful stop of the person. Then you have to have an additional reasonable suspicion to believe the person's armed and dangerous, depending on what jurisdiction you're in. But right. Reasonable suspicion, they got a weapon on them. Not all stops have that second reasonable suspicion. Without both of those, you can't frisk someone, no matter how concerned you are for no matter how safe you want to be, you have to follow the rules. And just because I want to frisk someone for my safety, if I haven't met the two Terry prongs, then I can't frisk that person. And this particular officer I read his comments as endorsing it's just a minor rights violation. It only takes a couple of seconds to frisk someone. If that keeps me from getting shot or stabbed or whatever, I'm willing to roll that dice because, okay, I might get some evidence thrown out. Oh, if I get sued, it'll only be for a couple $100 and whatever. And those two statements are probably true. But it's also a federal crime to willfully violate someone's constitutional rights under your authority or under your color of office.
Willful misconduct, right?
You know you're not supposed to do it, but you do it anyway.
And again, I often tell people, look, police officers, if they do something, often, very majority of the time, it's not a malfeasance or a malicious intent to disregard the law. It's lack of training, lack of knowing any better. And it honestly, as uninnocent as it may be, it actually is an innocent mistake at times.
Innocent in the fact that you don't have a nefarious state of mind. Yeah, it's for all intents and purposes a good faith, meaning you have good intentions. You just were somehow,
and you didn't know it was wrong.
Right. Yeah, and that's perfectly fine. Criminal conduct, though, requires you to know you're not allowed to do it, but you're going to do it anyway. And it doesn't matter why you want to do it anyway. If you do it and you know you're not supposed to, that is a federal crime. And that troubled me. And I've heard many officers over my career say, well, it's just a minor rights violation, and if I get to go home safely, then I'm willing to take that risk. Well, you're essentially admitting that you're willing to commit crimes because you've been told you can't do it, but you're going to do it anyway. And not to mention, it violates your oath of office. When you took the job, you raised your right hand and you swore that you're going to follow the rules and uphold the Constitution. And this is a constitutional issue. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
I'm going to jump in here real quick and add one thing to this. This is how I open my training program. You've been to it. I open my training program discussing this myth. And again, in defense of some of these folks, it is not intentional. Often it's just a mistake or misunderstanding how the law is applied. And by the way, some places were taught this. That's how they thought things were. There is one way to fix this. If you do want to pat frisk people, you can achieve this, and you just have to take one little piece of the equation and add it in, and that's ask for consent. And it's not a hard, so it's not hard to establish consent to search somebody. Merely asking somebody, would you mind if I check you for weapons, and following that scope and having some tactical ground, understanding how you're going to do that and understanding how to document some of that with the response unequivocal, or whether it's body language, showing submission, they put their hands on the hood of the car or raised their hands and turned around, looking for an unequivocal verbal response, what your state said was good or not. This will satisfy it. You want to be safe? I agree. I think you should be. Just ask. Right. Hey, you mind if I check you for weapons? And by the way, here's a crazy one. If somebody's carrying a weapon and you ask them to check for weapons, they're probably going to reach and try to go for that weapon. And at that point, you would have the ability to maybe intercept their hand and conduct your Terry frisk. Or they might take off running on you, which now turns into a full-blown arrest if you had a lawful investigative detention for the most part. So, nobody's advocating don't be safe. What we're saying is be safe, but be legal about being safe. And you can be, and it's not hard to figure out.
Yeah, and not to make sure that there was no confusion what I was saying. The way I interpreted this comment was I'm going to do it no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
I may ask, and he says no. Well, I'm going to do it anyway, and that's where the serious issue rises up. If you're that concerned about your safety when you're interacting with people, and you're willing to violate the law in order to be safe, then my suggestion is avoid the contact in the first place. Just don't
Find
even
another position. Find it.
leave. You know.
Yeah, and listen, we're trying to, and I imagine for the people who maybe police critics hearing a podcast like this, I mean, guys, if you can't tell what we're trying to do, we're really trying to begin the process of really unballing up everything that's been kind of and it's a big task, folks. And all we can do is do our best in the time we have allotted to us here on this earth to try to dismantle all the myths and provide clarity where police can perform lawfully, comfortably, and legally in the field, and citizens can have a more comfortable feeling knowing that the police know what they're doing and know what they're talking about, and victims get justice and criminals get what they deserve. That's really the push of this company, especially these podcasts, when trying to help clarity. People understand clarity, and you see the general concern with the messages we got. We got cops who want to do stuff and just want the answers of how do I do it legally. So this person that he's talking about is generally a very, very big minority. I mean, we have most police officers. I was given a credit. We have one of our attorneys we were speaking with on the phone, and I'm not talking about a legal attorney, he was a trademark attorney, and he looked at our stuff and he said, the one thing I'm most impressed about with you guys is how many police officers will pay out of pocket to go advance their career when there's no ROI essentially other than the knowledge of them performing. There's such good people that they recognize that they have not been served well with the training they've received, and they spend their own money, even on these meager salaries, to go out and get the training they need to perform this job to serve the public well. And I never forget when he said that. I said, yeah, it's crazy, man. I mean, literally cops will go out of pocket for professional development and have no ROI other than knowing the job and maybe something in the future, but very contrary to like maybe private business where you're going to go and learn at this workshop how to do this marketing thing. And when you're done with it, you're going to get 7% return on your marketing strategy. It's going to equal, you spend 5,000, it's going to equal 22,000 in return the following year. So it makes a ton of sense. These guys are literally and girls are struggling to understand, and we are trying to help ease that struggle and give them the clarity they need. And it's absolutely nuts to think of the things that we're actually doing as a law enforcement training company. And on top of it, with humility, kindness, caring. I told my wife this morning, we were talking, I said, we're talking about our street cop party that we're going to be having at my at the Casa. And I said, she asked me about this person. She goes, well, he was very nice when I met him. And he reminds me of this guy. I said, yeah. I go, Court, these people that we have collected as a group here of instructors and even our office staff are the best people I've ever known in my life. I mean, you just think about it. We not only are these the most professional police officers I know, but I just character-wise, I've never met a better group of folks than the folks that we work with. And Zach, I don't know who you've met so far, because obviously we're all over the country, all of us, but I mean, everybody's just such a good person. It's just crazy.
I've talked to several on the phone and had conversations over electronic conversations. Everybody has been very professional. And you can see that in the posts that some of these folks make. You can just get a sense of their personalities, and everybody's here for the right reasons. I mean, we are a profession, and we should be striving to be professional in the way that we conduct our business. And I wanted to mention the folks that do pay out of pocket to go to these classes. They should be recognized and commended for doing that, because they're probably also in agencies where they don't get paid a lot to begin with.
Yeah, dude, I'm serious. And by the way, like on a quick side note, that recognition, you could even find it in yourself, just a self-recognition of saying, you know what, I am investing in myself. I'm going to spend this money. I'm going to be the professional person I thought I'd be, because we know that this profession is not designed to be fair. And it's just the system's not designed that way to reward that. So if you're looking for recognition, you may not find it. And that could be a very deep struggle that you go down that road. So self-recognition of knowing that I'm a professional, I'm investing in myself. I don't care what other people think. This is who I saw myself being, and this is who I will become. So, self-recognition is probably the most important thing. People will say to me, okay, so we'll have people come to the office, and, people who are new here, maybe maybe applying for a position, like, the things, or we have new instructors, like, the things you've done, they're amazing, da da da. And I'm like, I don't hear a lot. Because I'm so ingrained in this theory of, I know what I'm doing, I know what I've came to do. I don't hear the accolades, and I don't hear the negative comments. So if you can find yourself in a place where you ride right down the middle of it, you can, hey, thanks for the award, or I understand your concern, or this person may feel this way about me. Both are unaffecting you at some level. It's a real nice place to be in because it helps you focus straight ahead. And for those of you who are taking the training, you are probably focused straight ahead on what you saw yourself becoming, and maybe picking yourself at some point. You don't have to wait till they say, you're going to go to this training in 3 years. If you think you need it, go take it. The ROI on your professional development is astronomical. And, we see that. I mean, why do you think it's the most popular training in the country? And I'm not saying other people don't have value. It just is. Because the word of mouth. This is great. There's other instructors, other companies who do a phenomenal job. I have a lot of relations with other companies. They do excellent work, and their programs are regarded as the same. There's not many, maybe 10% out of the 100% that are out there are actually, enjoyable, practical. I think every class has a little bit of value, but I've been to training courses that were just like, oh my God. Yep. Why would they why is this person talking? So when you can know and understand that what we're trying to do is admirable, and you are taking full advantage of the products that we have to offer, it's not a sales pitch, folks. It's the real deal. And there's a reason why Street Cop training will be regarded as the go-to for a majority of police trainings as we continue to progress and grow. Now I think we're circling right around 20 instructors. So we'll probably teach 15, 20,000 cops this year, which is phenomenal. So we're excited about that. Anything else before we wrap up today?
That's all I got.
All right, listen, me and Zach Miller, we'll be back here next week, minus any major catastrophes or technical difficulties. If you have a question, we could probably only answer one or two if it's that dire and you have no understanding of it. Zach and I will probably pick something at random that we think is probably the next thing that we can talk about that will serve you the most value. I appreciate everybody's continued support. We couldn't do it without everybody. We know that we're appreciated as well. Without further ado, streetcoptraining.com or streetcop.com. We have the conference coming up. If you want to take police training that we offer, check out the website. We have a full list. Zach Miller's training, constitutional policing. Very limited seating inside of that. I think you're almost sold out one of your classes. I don't want to go into too many details here, but his classes sell out. You don't want to waste your time and pontificate on whether or not you're going to take this. It is one of those life-changing careers. I've said this before. The first time I sent Jade a video something, she called me halfway through and she goes, he's very good. There's nothing, you don't have to change anything here. He's very, 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 very good. We don't have those accolades very often. If we get that and somebody's on their first class, we spent some time with them usually and they develop their program. And then they come out after they've been trained for 15, 20 hours by us, and they do a really nice job. But for somebody to be as raw as you are with some practical experience and have no input from us at all and deliver such a great product, I couldn't be more thrilled that you're here with us. And we have a friendship, and you've decided to be a legal advisor for literally no fees to the law enforcement community. And I'm sure that it'll return to you tenfold at some junction.
I'm sure it will.
Yeah. So, all right, without further ado, Zach.
Thanks.
Good. All right. See you.